Alright guys, welcome back to the channel Techado, and this is going to be the final episode for a journey of around about 12 months with Pegaxy in this channel. The final episode, why? Because there is no transition for the version 1 to version 2. It's just your assets are going to transform, but web 2, web 3 ends here, and we are going to begin the journey. They are going to begin the journey in mobile gaming platform. So this is going to be the last episode where actually we can make one more episode maybe, and then we have to call it in this channel about Pegaxy. But in this video it's going to be long because I did not get time to prepare myself from a 1.5 hour or 2 hours of like the whole AMA. I decided to go and post this with all the questions that he answered, with all the questions I asked, and with all the questions that the community asked. So a total of 200 people was attending the AMA, which happened early morning, 3 a.m. my time. So I was awake for you guys to ask this question. And there was, I think, one more content creator. His name is Shil, I think. So he was there also. But this is what people wrote. This is what we asked, and this is what he answered. So let's quickly dive in. And after that, we are going to present an honest opinion in the channel, thinking about this whole 1 year journey, what happened, and we have to jump into some sort of conclusions, right? Like, this just cannot carry on. This continuous pain just cannot carry on. So for me, the game had already ended on March or April. I had actually told you guys that if they do not fix the mistakes that they were making, that survival of this game is probably very less, because and exactly what happened. And last video we did talk about that a number of Pega sold volume is 0 for the last whole month, which means they were not making money. They could not keep up with the servers, so they had to close the game. So let's go ahead and watch this really quick with us. Let's change my stream thing. By the way, we do stream live on Twitch more or less every day, 10 p.m. Eastern time or Pacific time, and we do Warzone tournaments and all that stuff. Some light gaming here and there, more for like chatting and all that stuff. So you can always join us. I hope we should not cross till like half an hour or so. So let's go ahead and watch this video. So basically, this is his intro and all that stuff. We are selling hi and hello to each other.
Because they're smashed. But after the announcement, they started to do this. To step on top of that, questions, or if you want me to expand, of course. This one isn't, I guess, the usual structured Pega. As all this is basically me being here to answer all of your questions. Hopefully, I can answer them as best as possible, because I haven't been active in Discord. So anything that you do have, please, of course, throw it in. So let's just jump right into some of the questions here. I've got 13.
So this is me live writing him questions about what will be the marketing strategy of the game, because to be honest, he was CMO, which is Chief Marketing Officer, since day one. Right now he's co-founder because other partners left and all that stuff. But since day one, I did not see any sort of marketing strategy for the team. So my concern was, what will be the marketing strategy? Because if you have a product in your hand, even if it's half developed, even if it's super early and it has gained a lot of attention, there has to be marketing. And for the last 1 year, all of my videos, you'll see that I have emphasized on marketing. If a project is not marketed, that project has got 0 survival rate. You cannot just keep on, like using your own users. You have to share your user database with some other third-party games. So first question comes from actually a TTV user, which is Twitch TV user, I think so. So let's see, what was the first question?
And if there's anything else you want me to expand on, we've got the team looking in the comments as well. So just jump on top of that. The first one here is a good question. So wondering why we decided to build other games when Pegasy's development are already super behind schedule? Great question, of course. As the way I have looked at it previously, so this was before I guess I was CEO. That those other games did pop up. Uh, However, the theory behind continuing that, there's primarily two reasons. As a studio, for us, survival is the main goal, and we need to ensure that we are not dependent on the success or failure of the single title. And there's a lot of people working here, right? There's 80. At some point, there was 100 people here working, and if all of the money disappears because we put 100% into a single thing, their livelihoods disappear as well. So it's just something that I myself need to be conscious of, and that's the reason that we did continue that route even after Ken did leave. Secondly, this is an interesting one regarding how we operate internally. Some studios are likely different because they do outsourcing and stuff like that, or are willing to fire people and hire them for a couple of months and then just fire them when they don't need them. Obviously, I want to avoid that. So the second reason behind that is that we hire all in-house staff, including concept artists. This means that at some point through the development of the product, like the game, their roles generally will become redundant, because they're usually at the start of a game's development. Now, sometimes they'll be able to stick, but you don't need the entire team that's required at the start. And instead of firing them, they're able to start a new product. So we still hire them, they're still on the payroll, but you don't want to leave them sitting there and just pay them to do nothing, right? So we reached that point, and it allowed us basically to start 2 new products. But we also became confident in those products, and that's when we decided to hire some staff primarily for them. So that's really where the basis of it did come from previously as well.
So, what are the 2 new products? That's what Zach SSS1 is asking, and very good question again. Let's check this out. What are the 2 new products that you're talking about? Fact check, right? Let's see. Marui Labs, right? Marui Labs. Pegaxy. Should be in their thing, but I should. Labs. Even right now, it still says he's a CMO. It's a CTO is Steve, and yeah. Okay, where can I go for this? Mirai Labs. Their studio. This is their studio, right? Labs. I'm having aneurysm right now. This is a Chinese company or Asian company. Cannot find Mirai Labs. So see, this is the thing. This is what they're trying to promote, that Pegaxy performed about 200 million in secondary market sales in just 3 months release. That's their achievement. That's their achievement. Okay, let's go through Discord. Jesus Christ. I'm being stupid. And I just wanted to know, what sort of 2 products are you talking about? Like, what are the 2 products? Apart from Pegaxy, if you're telling PFP is making PFP picture is another product, first of all, it should not be even named as a product. It should not be called as a product. So, okay, official links. Trusted links. Well, from this we can go to Mirai Labs. I see a bunch of people, those who are happy. Your website. Let's see, what are the 2 products that you have made? takes me back to Pegaxy. So, w- where is this other two products? Let me write in general. What is Mirai Labs? And this is all happening live while I'm making the video. Probably nobody's going to reply because there is no yeah, probably we are not going to, but we're going to come back to this. Let's not waste time. Let's go ahead and watch. We're going to come back whether this like there is other products that exist or not, which I don't know whether there's another product or not. By the way, my question did not get answered. What will be the marketing strategy of the team right now? But probably he's going to read it after the 13 questions have been answered, which was previously submitted.
And that's really where it's stuck. I don't know how to expand much beyond that. If we look at it as a studio, it does make a lot of sense. If we look at it from
No, in this perspective, he's right that developing multiple products is fine, but we don't see what sort of product you're making. That's the question. Like nobody knows. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't see any questions about Mari Labs, other products. So let's see. Anyways, I'm just going to skip this. Okay, so this is a very important question, folks. I have already put up this. Just watch this question.
which is like the 2D, 3D web-based auto racer.
On what category will Pegaxy fall under mobile gaming? Casino and gambling? Because casino and gambling in mobile gaming is literally banned in most of the countries. There are only few countries that approve it. But most of the countries with deeper pockets, it's like a gray area that, like, it's not good for like a lot of projects to enter that. So that was the question that I have also asked. But again, there has been no answer to that.
Is what we're removing. I wrote a note here in response to that as well. Like as I said above, we would be hiring and firing staff or paying 3 to 5 times what we already pay staff members just to outsource the products that we don't even have fully the ability to control fully. And we chose this route as a studio over a singular path. And that's just the way we decided to develop. I know some people won't agree with it, but that's just the way it is, and it happens at many studios as well.
Good thinking, because a lot of these studios, which is actually right. So this is right, actually. If you do not have staff that you can trust on, and like you're outsourcing your codes and all that stuff, in crypto world, you simply will get robbed. So that is a good perspective that they're not outsourcing their stuff. So, which I agree.
Who in their right mind would want to invest in a new game when this one failed?
So Shill asked,
playing it down on the
Shill asked actually
gameplay, so that we're not focusing on the old gameplay. We're able to stop that and put all of the resources onto the new gameplay. So, yeah, and
Shill actually wrote this good.
And Zach, no, that's incorrect. I just explained it to you. If you can't understand that, I don't know what else to say.
Okay, this is him getting a little bit agitated, but forget that. So Shill actually wrote a very good question, is that why start a new product when this has been on fire and dead for 8 months? Who in their right mind would want to invest in a new game when this has failed so bad? It's a very good question. It is a very good question. But watch how he avoids that, because he's not avoiding it. For him, it's not a failure. We have to understand this. For game devs, for studios, it's not a failure, because they are a $200 million writer when it comes to profit. They made it within 3 months when the actual hype was there. The hype was made. They made the money. We control the money. It's our fault that, like, we bloated up everything, it was super hyped up and all that stuff. But it this all accident and everything could have been avoided. Each game, small or mini game, has a shelf life of around about 6 months to a year. AAA title games have got a shelf life of maybe 2 years. That's the reason they do refresh. Take, for example, Call of Duty. They will launch like a new map every year, or 2 years and stuff like that. Why? Because that is the shelf life of their game. After which the users, they get bored, they want something new and stuff like that. But this is not a AAA title game at all. So it was expected, and I was expecting that if I enter in this game on December or Jan, I could have easily gone out by March and April. So a lot of people actually went through that route and they got out in March and April because they know that 6 months to a year. But you'll see in the later what he says also.
Why start a new product when this has been on fire and dead for 8 months? Who in their right mind would want to invest in a new game when this one failed so badly? I mean, I'm not too sure what you would consider a failure or success. If you look at us versus others, I mean, you would consider the entire basically blockchain gaming a complete failure, right? If that's just what you're saying, like there hasn't been a successful one. So yeah. And why stop the old? Because no one's playing it. No one's playing the game. Like the racing, no one's racing.
And I told you in my last video, I was seeing this for the last whole December where I didn't make a lot of video and everything. I knew November end more or less whenever you saw like Pega volumes is 0, because you have to understand this. How does this game studio make money? It's not by racing and all that stuff. It's basically by the 3% market fee that once you sell your Pega, that's what's going to them. So when there is no sales, there is no money to be made. And who is to blame for this? Obviously, some poor decisions made by, the whole team and stuff like that. I'm not blaming one person. I'm blaming stuff that could have been corrected, which I repeatedly showed day after day that this needs to be corrected. This needs to be corrected. They were in a good path for the last few months or so once he took over and all that stuff, which I had no question. But it is what it is. Let's go to this one. Okay, this was my next question. Will you partner up with other game studios to promote or not?
And then we would push out once we have solid game design that we believe we'll have to know if they will release it in like an open alpha, maybe not. It might be and that's the reality.
Let me see if he reads my questions or not.
What will be the marketing strategy
Yep.
of the team?
So this is what I wanted to know. What is the marketing strategy of the team? And this is the reply for that.
After the transition begins. So that's the same thing as before, right? So this is still basically the original roadmap, is the easiest way to put it. The player controlled was part of the roadmap. And once the player controlled comes out, that'll come out in, I don't know if they will release it in like an open alpha, maybe not. It might be like a closed alpha for I'm not sure who. I will leave that to the team. I don't want to say what type of people or what people in general would be, or like guilds or something like that would be able to have access. But yeah, I would say not an open alpha, maybe like an open beta, and then that would be going into like app stores, both app stores, and then we would push out once we have solid game design that we believe we'll have like in-app purchases and in-app advertising and stuff like that, like a traditional free-to-play game would, casual to mid-core game. That's when we will start doing marketing, but we're not going to be paying money. Not going to be paying money to basically have no return. That's just going to drive the studio into death. Some people can't accept that, but that's unfortunately just the reality.
You know what the reality is? The reality is, this is the reality. He's been talking about this, that unfortunately this is the reality, this is the reality. The reality that you're talking about is a cloud of fake shadows. Shadows of your past mistakes. That is the reality. The reality is this, that even take Sunflower Land. Sunflower Land, on their process, they didn't spend money. You don't have to spend money to do marketing. You know that there are other game studios that are looking for user base. All you have to do is share your user base, your users, with another project. Incorporate a special Pega that, hey guys, if you guys go and play that other game, you're going to get a special Pega. That Pega will be a pacer or legendary or something like that. That is what I meant. But if your mind is not involved in the product that you're making, you would not be able to answer this question. And that is the reality. You know, that is the biggest problem what I see. That for some reason, his involvement is not there. For some reason, he's not involved, and very cunningly, he's trying to avoid and steer through like a lot of these questions. Well, that was my perspective. I wanted to have marketing, which means that sharing user database would have been a brilliant idea. All projects do it, but for some reason we didn't do it because we are in beta phase, and guess what? For another year or two, we'll be in beta phase. The moment alpha is launched, nobody's going to play it. That's what exactly Shield wrote. That's what exactly a lot of people think. But yeah, let's watch some other questions which were asked also.
Yeah, dollars, but with you guys all the times, and for sure, let's just not like sweep that stuff aside and pretend it did in the studio. The Pega swaps, like if it resets stats, breed count, new PFP or V2, new profile picture. I don't think so. I'm not too sure if profile pictures are a thing anymore, unfortunately. The Pega swap, I don't have a lot of info on that because I don't want to say something definitive, but there will definitely be stats in the new gameplay for sure that are related to what you would have now. And the Pega's on chain, so we can take the stats over, of course, with breed counts and all that other stuff, and how stats apply and what stats mean, maybe something different in the new game for sure. I don't want to say anything.
So, good question again. And as you can hear the answer, I'm not saying anything. He's saying that that PFP is not even a thing. So profile pictures that were given to you or which you bought. I remember somebody bought a profile picture for 20 Ethereum. 20 Ethereum on OpenSea. So those assets don't mean a thing anymore. Will probably not even mean anything anymore. Those were a couple of designs. I have like a bunch of designs out here for like NFTs lying around in my desktop right now, which I created on my iPad. So basically, your worth of those PFPs are going to be my drawings, which I drew on my iPad. And yeah, let's watch some other.
Definite, but yeah, I mean, active, and not the only reason for us to make this decision. When be related or similar, that will be adopted because. The Pega swaps, like if it resets stats, breed count, new PFP or V2, new profile picture. I don't. So I start going through the launch of the alpha begins tomorrow. If you want access, blah.
So next question that I asked, which is a very critical question. This will actually prove that whether our PGX and VIS holds any value or not. So I had one more question, was that after the transition, will VIS still remain a utility token, a PGX governance token, or there will be an introduction of another token? So I think he answers to this a little bit late, so I'm trying to find that.
Blah blah. standard. This one says it is a sudden decision. There is people's blueprint or just a reality to do for the future raise. So it's like, and then I'll read it because you wouldn't be able to play it. It's as simple as keep the game active, because with a new model and game, very niche audience, experimental blockchain of course, because I guess we didn't really have anyone to copy. Now we're at a point where we have so much experience with it, and this is Daisy's grabbed it, so that's okay. Once that one is wanted us to be all folk day, there wouldn't be too much of a use in the future games for those tokens are the ones that we decided to build originally, and they come with us. But yeah, there's definitely the possibility that it will function right now. Like if you want to know what happened, Themis did nothing. Proposals up there, don't know. Personally, we can multiple times proposals that didn't get implemented. Hopefully I can ship the products this, but Sam, I don't know, 2 years, but we want to keep the same amount of runway, and his community games said that they will keep their rarities, so PGX still be the token for the new games, but yeah.
Okay, so this is the thing which I was searching. I'm just doing this because I could not like edit this for like another 1 hour or 2 hour.
Yeah, I don't think, unfortunately, there will be betting. It'll
Okay,
have
so
to
let's
be
see.
like a third party thing, if it's possible. Okay, I see here. Yes, I just, Quinn had messaged me and she said that they will keep their rarities, so like founding and stuff like that will keep their rarities. It sure seems like that. Also, there seems to be progress and an ETA, an estimated time of releasing the V2, so the player-controlled mobile game roadmap next week, I think. So look out for that one. Okay.
Critical information. So next week we can get like a roadmap of the next game, but again, we know how much we follow roadmap, which will be subjected to changes. So
clear on that one. Yep. Okay, caught up. But is the Viz and PJax still be the token for the new game for V2? Like the new Pegaxy that'll come out in 3 months or whatever it is. Yes, it's still PGX and Viz. For the other games, I definitely hope that we will be integrating use cases for them as well. 100%.
well, you heard it, 100%, which means that there will be multiple games. It will not only be Pegaxy, but there will be other mini games which will be owned by Maui Labs, which I think is like the strategy of Kala Games. Kala Games does the same thing also. They have like multiple small mini games that you can play. And PGX and Viz that you have right now, you can be using it in the newer Pegaxy that's going to come up, which is the mobile version. Or you can use that PGX and Viz for like other games that they are going to launch. They said 100%. That means it's definitive. So now let's...
That's right, yes. I felt we were. There would definitely be successful crypto games, but there's...
Obviously, nobody's going to reply this, but here's the thing. To all my scholars, those who are watching, you do not know how much I miss you guys. I miss the whole interaction in Discord. I literally wish, like there was other ways that we could have all thrived together, made money together, like played this game together. I'm sorry that things came to this way, but I wish you all the best for your future. I wish you, like more success, more wealth, more happiness in the future, because apparently we couldn't stretch it for more than a month, so a month or two. Even we tried to stretch it all the way to like 3 months, I think so, in my like group of scholars that I had. Like it was like around about 8 or 9 people. But thank you for all your efforts. And I hope we're going to meet again. I know that you guys are there in Discord.
Many different areas. That's what I apologize. I'm not too sure. Maybe write another comment. Maybe you've attached it to our decision making, but I'm unsure like what you're talking about. Racing, and there's competitions within those leaderboards as well that you've got to. They like the randomness of the game. So a vast majority of that 1 year developing, probably 6 months of it.
So I think I missed this, but Borg actually had answered this question. So let me just hold on. So the new game will possibly have a renting system, but not at the beginning. So, which means that the renting system will not be available till the end of this year, probably. So we'll see, and we'll wait and watch what happens to the renting system. So in the beginning, you're going to manage your own assets. So guilds have to step up and do something about it, because you guys depend upon, a lot of your stuff depend upon scholars and everything. So I think guilds need to unite and make some decisions for the future of this new game that's coming out.
Was very, very low ratings if we did in the actual game. Why is it thought we're right? Not going to introduce a system where, so when we move the Pega still founding Pega? Yep. Good question. I mean, then we can dive into the race. So that's why. But the staff, all of the staff are not going to Singapore. The overheads will not change much.
So this is another question that I also had to him. Let's listen.
Is founding Pega still founding Pega? Yep. So you don't have enough money to keep the servers, but you have enough money to keep going. That's not what I said.
This is, that's purposeless writing.
We don't want to keep the servers going because no one's playing.
And it's costly. Like crazy. That's, I understand. So there was another question. This is not my question or anything. Okay, I think he should read it right now.
Does Pegaxy Mirror Labs have any plans to partner up with game studios after the transition is over? Good question. I mean, there's a lot of potential partnerships. You'll notice we've never done anything because we've never felt that we were there, like, to do it or publish or, how would I say, to promote and go massive and do big partnerships and big announcements and all this type of stuff with incomplete games. Isn't worthwhile, so and isn't right, so it's likely not until they're completed, and then absolutely, definitely. Sorry, there's a lot, guys. Let me try to catch up.
Okay, there is last question.
There will be aware. Money was people congratulating people, and the definitely no.
So 0 Pega sold last 1 month. I had a clue that it is the end. So watch this, what he says to that.
Not the one making the everyday decisions. So again, I'm not saying it's a community build now. For sure, V2 you guys have had no involvement, but I didn't say that. But what we have now definitely is partly a community build, and you cannot deny that. That's for sure. Zero Pega sold in, yes, correct. That's correct. Makes sense, right?
Well, after that, I mean, I would say this is more or less the end, because we, like, ended the chat, and this was just people trying to talk, interact with Corey and all that stuff. So ending this episode, there are a couple of factors that we have learned over the past 1 year. I know probably this is going to be the last episode in this channel. I might be making one more. Roadmaps, do not believe in roadmaps. Try to, narrowly go through, because roadmaps always change and everything. Very critical is that there should be a team of at least 2-3 people where they can share everything. Are they going to do any marketing? The questions that were asked, marketing is not happening unless the product is going to be ready, so which is again going to take some time. How are they going to attract investors? Actually, I had to actually ask them this question about, hold on, let's go back to this thing. I actually had asked this question. I forgot what was his answer. Hold on. I think it was at the end. Okay, well, I cannot find the last question, but I did ask him that big players like Batman, which is Patrick from Batman, Ben from RDG, what are his plans to keep the guilds together? Because guilds is a very, very primary support for the team. It's a core support for the team, right? Well, he said that they have already had discussions prior with Patrick and Ben. So the guilds more or less had a clue, kind of what was going on and stuff like that. My question is, what about investment on the next hub? It was actually a good question by Shill. Shill actually posted this saying that, what about how are you gonna attract investors? So, in a nutshell, Pegaxy made money. Mario Labs made money. In a nutshell, the game was not completed, so it's an incomplete Web 2, Web 3 game. I would not say it's a huge success. Success in part of making the money. As a term of did the product get developed for the Web 2, Web 3 version? It did not get developed. They're transitioning to mobile gaming, moving to Singapore, which means that Singapore has got very hard, like gambling laws and stuff like that. So you will see there will be no entry fee. It will be a free-to-play game again. So they're going to start from the scratch. And that's pretty much it. That's all the bases that you need to know. I wish you guys all success. And I did my part for this coming whole year. And I told you I'll be here till the end of light. So this is the turn off button for Pegaxy, for Web 2 and Web 3. I'm turning off the lights. It has been a very, very good year for all of us. Those who have joined the challenge, we stick together, and we stayed together, exchanging ideas and everything. None of them was listened, but we have become a part of community now. So you can chill around Discord if you want. I'll be showing other projects, which I'll be probably start doing from next week or so. And see you folks on another episode. Our next episode, which actually was discussed in Pegaxy chat a lot, is SFL. So Sunflower Land is what we are going to focus on. Soulcraft is what we are going to focus on. And a couple of more interesting games coming up, which, again, we didn't pick up Pegaxy as our hand picked. We picked up Sunflower Land and watch Sunflower Land doing amazing right now. So next time we're just going to go more in depth and pick up projects which I think holds more value. And we have learned some very good lessons by spending a lot of money. So stay tuned for more updates. But that was Pega Insider explained with a lot of questions that we had asked, and what I told you guys that I will ask to the CEO when we are on an AMA. So good night.